Welcome guys to Battlefield Middle 2 replay number 12. Yep, that's the one. Today we'll be looking at Dagorlad 3v3 men loss. So let's jump into that one, see what this is all about. I do save my losses sometimes if I feel they're worth watching, I guess. In my opinion, doesn't mean they are worth watching, but we'll see. Or maybe I just wanted to see what happened, so I watch it back myself. But here we go. We have the Destroyer as myself. The Destroy, because my name doesn't fit. When I'm hosting, it's the Destroy. When I'm not, it's Destroyer. We have Raiders as the elves here. And we have Delhi as Isengard. I do remember this game because it was actually like a few days ago, now that I remember. We have Arogo as the Goblins. Dark Knight as Urkai, and Marauder as the Men of the West. So I remember this game quite clearly because, like I said, it was a few days ago. Or at least kind of close to that. We lost because of cavalry, if I remember correctly. This right here is the reason we lost the game. Excuse me. So yeah, he went with a cavalry to start, which was a great choice for him. I believe I chose Boromir and some pikemen, which is not a bad start in any way. My teammate, I believe he went like all in on archers or something. This isn't a short game either, if I remember correctly. But this guy also has cavalry. And he has a work pit, or Urk pit, I mean. He has his alerts here. This guy also has alerts. And this goblin has Goblin Cave. Nothing too out of the ordinary here to start with. I was actually started with a Glorfindel. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't see everything that went on because I was busy doing my own thing, really. Boromir and some pikemen is what I did. I actually went with some cavalry to start with as well. Except he went with the Theoden and he went with the Rohirrim, which turned out to be quite in his favor late game. Because my Boromir and pikemen were not able to stop it. So he was running around destroying farms all game. But anyway, we'll see that. Yeah, goblins went with a Shelob, which is not something you see all the time. It's a good hero, but just not very good against pikemen. And it looks like Lurtz goes into Carnage and, with the help of these Urkai, destroys Glorfindel. But it looks like Glorfindel got rid of his Urk pit. I don't know if it's a fair trade, per se, but, you know, it is what it is. So here's Theoden, going to probably gain a level off of this Goblin Cave. Yep, he gains a level off the Goblin Cave. No levels off the treasure though, thank goodness. And I'm running around with some Gunner Knights, which are not very good, but I'd say they're about the equivalent of Rivendell Lancers, really. Except I think Rivendell Lancers' attack is higher than theirs. And we have some Warg Riders here from my Urkai team. He was probably the strongest player on our team. We all eventually, well, like, yeah, we relied on him quite heavily. I knew he had cavalry. I've seen them, I believe. Oh yeah, I definitely see them. So I was building pikemen and I felt that was the right strategy for this. But it turned out that it's just the lack of mobility of pikemen on a large map is not good. And the only way I was going to counter this is to counter it with my own cavalry army. Which is unfortunate because I didn't end up doing that. I think this This might have been the extent of my cavalry. I was able to kill Theoden because he ran him through my guys. Early game I did pretty well. You know, I actually didn't lose that badly. It's when late game hit that it started to really take its toll. So here we have Urkai starting to get upgrades. He has got the weapons, and he has forge works, so he has cheaper upgrades. I see that one is fortress. Is that little guy sharpening a sword? Pretty cool. So this guy in the middle has opted to get Mirkwoods very early. Not super early, but I mean, generally speaking. And this Fire Drake really, like, it sat there the whole game burning troops as they went by and no one decided to kill it. It was also a mistake. But yeah, here's my first attack against this guy. My first real attack. I felt it was going okay. I don't remember what happened, but it didn't end up working out. But I was trying desperately to get my Boromir to level 3 so I could use the horn. And if I was level 5, leadership would have helped quite a bit. And there we go, my Boromir's level 3, now's the Horn of Gondor. Back comes Theoden. He's going to keep him unmounted because mounting him would be pointless here against a pikeman army. Looks like Lurtz finishes off Shelob, but will probably fall to the... no, maybe. He could run into the here. He'll probably be fine. I don't think he'll need to do that. Let's check up on my attack here. This is his Elvenwood, so he gets these leadership bonuses. And even though I did use the Horn of Gondor, I am out of troops. My troops are very far away. And by the time they get there, the only thing left to be Boromir. So I'm running Boromir away, hoping I can get away. And then I charge some pikemen like a noob. If I would have sent those around, maybe trampled these guys, I might have done a lot better. It was a misplay by me. Meanwhile, the Green Urkai are ward ridering their way through the elf base with the accompaniment of Lurtz. And Lurtz cannot fight this army. But at least not alone. And here comes his reinforcements. And if he sends his war guards around and refreshes these guys, then he'll have a very good spot on this guy. Meanwhile, I'm coming to help the elves, because I can see that they're not doing so well after my attack failed. I also accidentally sent both of my builders in to his base. Another misplay by myself, grouping my army together with builders and sending it in. Very rookie. Goblins have a pretty good sized army, along with their Shelob. Shelob won't be much use against these pikemen, but that will. The Fear. Fear is a good ability from that hero. Especially Poison Stinger. Against another hero, this is amazing. And this is good for just getting anywhere to teleport around the map. Here comes my Boromir back from the dead. Urkai have taken this outpost. Let's go back over here. And it looks like goblins are slaughtering these Urks. I don't know if that's Goblin or Urkai. Looks like it's Urkai. So Urkai have summoned the Wild Men of Dunland to fight these goblins. But now that the pikemen are all dead, he can bring his Shelob back in and shouldn't have much trouble here cleaning up that army. And looks like I'm going to try attack on the men again. He doesn't actually have much of anything aside from a few Rohirrim, By the time I get there, he has some pikemen and some archers. And I do not have enough troops to crack his defense by any means. But my elven teammate is going to back me up with some archers. He may have been the weakest team in our team. I think he lost his fortress first. He focused too hard on Mirkwoods, I feel. Especially when there was mainly cavalry armies being built. I mean, I went Athelians, obviously, because Athelians are great, but he should build pikemen to support his troops. And these aren't even my Athelians. But I was building them. See? There they are. So I was thinking I do need Rohirrim, but I never really was able to implement it the way he was, because he had his heroes with it. It's just generally better than mine. Goblins were doing quite well. You know, they were having no trouble killing Uruk-hai armies. They were both gaining power points off each other, doing damage in battles. And this Uruk-hai he's doing pretty good. I mean, he's got his armor, his weapons. He's starting to recruit berserkers now. But yeah, I cannot defeat this man by myself. And will I get away? I don't remember if I got away. A little juke action, right into some pikemen for defense. So yes, my Boromir will live, for now. Unless, does he have a spear throw? He could potentially spear throw me, which I'm surprised he didn't try. And here's, like I was saying, I was walking by the fire drake and just losing battalions. Not good. Somebody should have dealt with that fire drake layer and stopped walking by it. But we saw the Uruk-hai were in trouble. But I think he would have been fine without my help. Red might see that I'm going to save his teammate, or save my teammate and attack me, potentially. Green is also up here. Green has the strongest army of all because they're all upgraded. I mean, potentially he has the strongest army as well because they're both the same. But with the Horn of Gondor, will still do massive damage. Especially with the fire arrow upgrade. And here comes an arrow volley. Managed just to kill a decent amount. Battalion and a half maybe. And now the red are attacking my base. Because I made the mistake of sending everyone out. I misplayed a lot in this game. If I was to do this game over, it would have been much different. But, you know, you live and learn. You can't play every game perfectly. Unless you're a pro, I guess. Because that's what they do. But yeah, it was difficult to defend my base against these cavalry. Even my cavalry, I didn't have the hero to back them up down to levels. I was really relying on these pikemen, which weren't doing the job. Especially because he had so much archers and pikemen of his own. And the elves, well, he does have a strong army. It's not cavalry friendly, just put it that way. The Rohirrim could crush this army of cavalry instantly, and he's not building any pikemen. And he's running off one barracks as well, which is not a good idea. I always build at least 2 or 3, because like this, if he rushes your barracks or your archery range, you're no longer able to produce archers or pikemen or whatever. I felt I needed the ability to put out mass amounts of troops instantly. So that's what I do here. Which was a good idea, because that's what saved my base pretty much, besides these guys. These are very strong, don't get me wrong. He didn't necessarily misplay by doing all Mirkwoods. But I think mixing it up a little bit would have been a little better. At least 1 battalion of pikemen, or 2. And I guess he does eventually get some pikemen. And I'm white, so I was attacking him at some point. But there's so many enemy teams here. All three of them were able to just crush my attack instantly. And then blue moves out. Looks like we all decide to move out. Best time to counterattack is after an enemy has been defeated. An enemy attack has been defeated. But they are very prepared, even with their attack crushed. The men are not prepared. But I feel that the Uruk-hai and the goblins are more than enough to make up for that. Especially he has upgrades on his goblin warriors, his armor and weapons. So he has a very strong attack army. In conjunction with the fear of Shelob. Pretty powerful. And with armor, I'm not sure how much armor upgrades are good against on goblin warriors. I guess they'd make it withstand at least one more hit, maybe two. So it's not a bad thing. I don't generally do it, but if I have the money I will. Yeah, look how fast they melt. Here comes an arrow volley from me, and that will kill pretty much every goblin warrior there, almost. So that was a good arrow volley. Meanwhile, here comes the Uruk-hai army, fully upgraded and ready to destroy buildings and armies. And I'm expecting that's what they do here. The Elven base is completely undefended. And I think that's where the Uruk-hai end up going. They might end up going for me. Nope, they go for my teammate. He is not prepared for this attack. Even if he did have all these archers here, he wouldn't have the power to stop this army. Meanwhile, he has guys down here as well, with my pikemen. I noticed they're being trampled, so I moved back. They're all dead by that time. I do have many, many pikemen. But it's not very helpful in this situation, honestly. There goes the Horn of Gondor. Boromir is excellent for fighting heroes. I'm 1.6 because of the knockdown. Knockdown is extremely overpowered. Completely nullifies Lurtz's carnage. Because he spent the entire carnage on his ass. But here comes blue. Back attacking the light blue elves here. And light blue elves have lost their fortress, and he will continue to lose the rest of his stuff here. Unless we stop him. But with this army, we do not have the means, I don't feel. Oh no, blue is our teammate. That's right. Dark blue is our teammate. So we do have the army to stop him because of this guy. He has sent reinforcements. So we'll at least save the forge. And my teammate goes over here, I believe, somewhere. I'm not sure where the elves built their stuff. Maybe it was back here. I decided to build my buildings away from my base. But he knew they were there at some point, so that didn't last long. Because he kept cavalry rushing my fortress, I decided to build away from my fortress. Maybe he would, thinking maybe he wouldn't see them. And here we get the drop on him at least. Managed to kill off his Rohirrim. There's a large goblin army here. Mainly of goblin warriors, but still. They have high attack damage with their weapon upgrades. Taking buildings out quite quickly. Buildings that we can't afford to lose at this point. Because the elves only have like a barracks. I could have sworn he built over here. Maybe he does later. There's the elven builder. Yeah. So it's not going well for our team. It was kind of like a drawn-out death. But you can't win them all, like I said. Which is fine. I have no problem losing. And there goes a big chunk of goblins from the Tom Bombadil blast. Tom Bombadil is very good. Not against heroes though, it seems. At least not against Shelob, he's not doing anything. And I never managed to get my upgrades either, which really hurt me late game. I tried, see, but I was really not getting enough resources to do that. Meanwhile, he had his upgrades, and yeah, it got worse for me from there on. But you know, blue army base is pretty good. You know, he has some defense. He has these towers, very strong against armies. They shoot very fast from Uruk-hai towers, and the upgraded fire arrows is very good. And I'm going to refrain from fast forwarding because I think it crashed last replay, so at the very end. I don't think the game ended, I think it crashed, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it at least a little bit, very little bits at a time, if at all. So we'll just watch the game out. It may take longer. It's on YouTube, so I mean you can just skip ahead if you want. But this is not a point where I feel you need to skip, because there's nothing going on. Let's see what's going on here. There's a beacon placed here. I'm not sure why, honestly. There's nothing there. I actually have a good base going here. It's just it's not defended. If he gets the ivory tower or something, he will see that I have nothing back there stopping him from cavalry rushing everything up there. Also, he does have 3 battalions of Ithilians just defending his fortress from inside the garrison, which is very strong. That'd be hard for us to break. Also, he has this army of cavalry, backed up by Theoden and Eomer. So in comes a strong cavalry attack. We have many pikemen, but we cannot catch them, is the issue. Meanwhile, green is coming in from over here. So this is really not looking good for us. And there's a goblin army coming as well, so we're in a lot of trouble. And he sees my buildings back here. So here is where I start to lose everything, while my pikemen try and catch up and are not able to. Just really, really bad for me. This is a lesson to be learned, I feel. Like, I think building around your fortress is a good idea. Keeping everything consolidated, while it can be bad for earthquake situations, or dragon fire or whatever, it's best for defensive situations. I guess if I had an army up there it would have been okay, but I'm chasing him around the map, which is a severe disadvantage for me. I can't catch him. I never will. And I will continue to lose all my structures here. Which is quite demoralizing, as well as, I mean, just in general weakening my army and my base. So there's 3 enemy armies here. There's cavalry from men, goblins here, and then there's the green Uruk-hai. Potentially that might be blue. Yep, those are blue wildmen. That will not be enough. Do I have boiling oil? I do have boiling oil at least. Looks like I got rid of Tainted Land with my own version of Tainted Land. Here comes the boiling oil. Extremely effective. But it did not finish off these half-troll marauders, which is going to probably kill my fortress. There's alerts here as well on Carnage. So yeah, I don't have the means to stop him here, I don't feel. No, I do stop him. Okay. Oh, I guess this is all blue, yeah. So my partner was able to save my base, basically. And I do not save this barracks. Very close. There's a watcher somewhere. Apparently, I think it's a goblin watcher. Goblins decide to use his watcher defensively to kill off all these Mirkwoods. Not a bad idea. Split a bunch of spiderlings as well. Spiderlings are very good for attacking archers, I think, kind of. Because they're so fast, really. They're not strong against them if they're actually being shot, but they can get up on them quickly. So can spider riders though, which is a better choice. Yeah, it looks like blue is going to attack. Me and blue are going to attack the red. So we'll see how that goes.
It's all done now.
He attacks from the left, I attack from the right. Good strategy, don't bunch up all our troops at once. A lot of his army was wildmen, so now that they're gone, it's not as good looking. And there's the cavalry army. Probably just going to destroy more of my buildings while I'm not home. Which is probably what he should be doing. I might catch him with my Boromir. I managed to stun his army with my Boromir by seeing them coming. It's a good play by me at least, but it's not going to be enough. I built wall hubs. Wall hubs are helpful. I built arrow towers here because you can't build wall hubs there anymore. Or ever, I don't know if you could. But it would not let me build a wall hub in that space. Now Boromir is killing off these cavalry. Meanwhile, our attack was pretty much crushed. He helped with the spiderlings with poison. Interesting. I don't see poison bot very often for the spiderlings. But it is good. It is more damage. Let's go back over here. There's our enemy Tom Bombadil chasing off our army. Trying desperately. Me and the elves are trying desperately to rebuild here. And it's difficult. Especially with this mobile army of destruction. So Boromir and these pikemen will never catch us. And it's difficult to head them off because they're still so slow. So yeah, I feel if I was going to counter this better, I would have built my own Rohirrim army and tried to get upgrades. But I didn't do that. You know? I felt pikemen are needed to counter cavalry, and it just wasn't working out for me. So here comes a green attack on the blue base. Looks like most of blue's army is down here. Fighting off some wildmen with Shelob. And here comes the wild green land, whatever it's called. What is it called? Elvenwood, of course. Of course. Overlapped by tainted land, so it cancels it out. Somebody's made it rain. Not sure which Isengard. Dark Knight. That is not my teammate. So, our team has lost leadership because of this rain. Yeah, see, he's got the idea. Build wall hubs all around your base so you can't be as hit easily. The best spot to be hit is like the door. It's just a good defensive idea. Arrow towers are great. But against the cavalry army, I feel that's better. But you still need troops to kill the cavalry, or else you're not going to be able to stop them. Speaking of not being able to stop them, here we are, the army of pikemen and Boromir, just trying desperately to stop them. We've lost everything aside from whatever's around my fortress. So we don't really have much chance here. He's got to be racking up power points as well. He is Marauder. Yeah, he already has the army of dead. So that will be a very large weapon for him to use on us. Yeah, my base is looking pretty sad, isn't it? It's depressing. All of these pikemen are completely useless as well. Not completely, but pretty much. I should really have moved them back to my base. I don't know why they're so far over there and just standing there, but they are. Right here we're running free. Boromir hot on pursuit. I have built to my teammate's base now, because I feel I'm going to need to survive. And I'm very right in that assumption, as has my elven teammate. So I'm making stables here, an archery range, some a barracks.
Brace yourselves!
Here comes the attack from the Rohirrim. I think that's my cloud brick, so I can freeze them, kill as many of them off as I can. Omer's level 9, so he has all his abilities. I'm assuming his Theoden is quite leveled as well, if not already maxed. This Uruk-hai army with the goblins is very strong looking, especially when backed up by a Saruman, who's auto-casting Wizard Blast. And here comes the army of the dead to just completely obliterate my army. All my defenses are dead. Boromir will soon follow, because he is unable to fight ghosts. And then that gives him perfect time to come just destroy my base. Comes a boiling oil, but I don't think it will kill enough. No, it will not. It does kill quite a bit. Boiling oil is definitely useful. But not against fully upgraded buffed guys. There's no way. So my original base has now been destroyed. Everything is gone. Everyone's dead. And the only remaining bastion of our bases are all over here in our blue teammate's base. I'm also building the bottom or top left corner for whatever reason. Just because I can. This guy does not have our ivory tower yet, which is kind of odd. I guess he doesn't need it. But it's not like he can't afford it. So I don't know. Whatever. He's just continuing to play with Rohirrim, and that's all he needed to do. He could have just built completely Rohirrim and probably won the game. Quicker, in fact. Like, these could go to the garbage and just be replaced with Rohirrim. I strongly feel this was the game winner right here. It was just the Rohirrim. We were unable to stop Rohirrim, and we lost the game because of it. And here comes a Watcher on the blue army. Ouch. The best way I like to use the Watcher is summon Prebane or bats, if you're goblins, over an army and then summon the Watcher under him. That way they're weakened. And it just comes up and usually one-shots the entire army. It's great. But just summoning it next to an army or under it is very, very good too. You have the shot to the face, it's gone. So yeah, they have complete map control. over us. They have all the outposts, they have all the goodies, all the space for resources they could ever want, because we can't do anything. Map control is very important in this game, I feel. In most RTS, actually. Map control is very important. I have won many games by just having a small, like, base like this, and then just pushed out from it. But it is always very useful to have more farms everywhere. There's a glorious charge by Theoden. He's only level 5, sadly. But that is the level he needs to be. Level 5 is glorious charge range. So he cleans up his crap without much issue. And it's just a matter of them taking out this big Urukai citadel here. So, now we watch the final battle. I don't know if it's a final battle, but it is one of the final battles. Since we're backed into a corner. They have quite a few troops. Here's the red, here's the green, here's orange. There's this lightning strike. Very painful for him. And he's also striking the blues Urukai. Beacon was placed right here. Blue was going for an attack, but it was unable to do anything. Marauder placed a beacon here, which is the red men, signaling there was a blue attack coming. Although I'm sure he knew that because of this. But the blue attack will fail. It was a good effort. We wouldn't have won the game by sitting back, defending the entire game. Although sometimes you might, because of PowerPoint reasons. Maybe you'll get enough for Earthquake, and then you Earthquake a base, and then just follow up with your army, and you might crush them and win. But not in this case. This case, we are being slaughtered, really. The only thing I can do is make crappy pikemen that have no upgrades and can't do anything. So my teammate Urukai decides to start destroying his buildings. Game is over. We have given up. Delhi has been defeated. I do the same. Destroy my buildings. And the elves do the same. Game over. That's the end of the game. So yeah, it was a hard loss, but lessons to be learned in that game. And I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and we'll see you in the next one.